again, and welcome to another edition of Woodsy's Picks, coming to you once again from the Lancaster Taphouse with a makeshift Lancaster Council this week. As usual, our Council Director, Stacey Cattell from the Regina Pats, is here. Our Minister of Ways and Means, Tim Rogers from the Lancaster Taphouse, he is also here. You will notice that Mr. Wilcox, Darren Wilcox, our esteemed mayor, is not, and Mike Lee, who actually was the only guy to pick the Winnipeg Blue Bombers last week, he is not here either.
But he took Toronto.
I think he must have known something, that maybe they were cheating.
Yeah.
He probably knew that Andrew Harris was cheating.
He had inside information.
Yeah. We'll get to all that in just a moment, but we also, with those guys gone, we want to welcome a celebrity counselor this week. He is a member of the, was a member of the 1989 Grey Cup champion Saskatchewan Roughriders, played a number of years here in Saskatchewan, played with the Ottawa, what were they, the Renegades back then?
Rough
the
Riders.
Riders. They were still the Rough Riders,
Still the Rough
back
Riders.
then.
Yeah.
Great linebacker, a demon on special teams. A pleasure to welcome this week Dan Rasovich. Thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate it, buddy.
Great to have you, Harris.
Hey, week 12, I'm finally here.
Yeah.
I love it. It's awesome. I was going, jeez.
Well, it's great. It's good to have you. You know, we loved always talking. Raz was one of our go-to guys when back in the day. You know, you could always get some pretty good insight in I'd like to say a different take from Raz on certain issues. You know.
No
You love football, though. You
No
just
filter, right,
love
Raz?
Canadian football. You love the CFL. You just love football.
I loved practice.
Oh, sure you did.
I did. I loved even training camp. You know what, man? I remember, I loved the sound of my cleats walking across the pavement to get to the practice field. That click, click, click. I did. Hey.
And now everybody's looking to rent a bike up in Saskatoon.
Exactly. You know? I mean, I don't
For
know.
training camp.
Hey.
That's drop, though, right?
Hey, I was just fortunate enough to be able to do it. And I thought, man, you know what? I don't know. If I could be a kid the rest of my life, I mean, that's what it was
No
like.
kidding.
But game day, you were just a demon on game day.
Love game day. Game day is showtime, right? I mean, that's what you live for, right? Is game day. You know, you don't want to embarrass yourself either.
No, exactly. And this guy came out to play week in, week out, special team. You were built for special teams. I mean, the way you just like to go out there and smack people.
I like to run fast and hit people like a Scud missile. You know
That
what?
doesn't sound like a lot of fun at all, does it?
No. Yeah. Hey, and it's legal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's legal.
Well, it's good to have you here, and Dan will also be talking about an event coming up that is very near and dear to his heart, the 2019 Run for Childhood Cancer. Dan has been involved with that for the last 3 years, and the Riders alumni has as well, along with Bronco Radio, and we'll get into details on that in just a little bit. But first of all, we want to talk about, what happened last week, and as we mentioned, Mike was the only one to pick the Bombers over the Eskimos, and what a game that was. But man, what turned out to be the story afterwards, gentlemen, was that Andrew Harris, star running back for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, certainly in contention for MOP this year, and sets the record for all-purpose yardage by a Canadian. All of a sudden found out that he has been suspended 2 games for using PEDs, or caught using a banned substance. And now, now the Banjo Bowl is completely different narrative.
Yep. Well, you got to look at these next 2 games. It's an 8.5-point swing for these next 2 games, right? Because there's the tiebreaker, and we're 4 points back. So we could be basically 5 games back if we lose these 2, or we could be tied and essentially in first place if we win them, right? So it's massive. And to get Andrew Harris out, but I mean, look, he's from Winnipeg. You could get high by breathing the air in Winnipeg. So I should be shocked that nobody doesn't test positive for drugs in that city. Come on.
Hey, Russ. Gotta love Winnipeg.
Well,
Yeah.
Raz,
Winnipeg.
these things that are out now, these supplements and stuff, I don't know, you know, the training methods that you have, I don't recall back in the day that there was steroids back then.
Oh, yeah.
But the way it's become so scientific now, and there's so many different ways to train and these supplements that are out there, and you can have any kind of trace of anything, and you've got to know what you're putting in your body, don't you?
I just think the supplements, I mean, stuff like that, I mean, there's so many different types and so many ingredients. You know, I think you said earlier something about, you know, probably said all natural in the supplements that he bought from a store, you know. Hey, and you know, you can't depend on something saying it's all natural. And you know, the first thing when I heard about it, I was just like, I mean, hey, kind of pretty unfortunate because I heard you got tested 10 days ago.
Yeah.
Right? So we got tested 10 days ago, and obviously maybe some new supplement that he saw, you know what? Because, hey, you're looking for something to recover, or
maybe
this,
because
or
he
that.
was tested. Well, maybe I can cheat a little bit this time, put a little bit more in there. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, we don't know, right? I mean, it's just, you know, I kind of think back to that gal, the Olympian there, who just got tested positive as well, and I'm like, you know, who knows? She was taking some supplement, and again, you know,
It can't be easy. We see that with our players.
Jeez.
You can educate your kids, you can educate yourself to what to do, what not to do. But at the end of the day, Andrew Harris, this isn't your first year in the CFL.
True. Yeah.
So I also don't buy that. Guys can be careless, and at the end of the day, if you're injured, everybody's going to look for an edge.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe he was looking for an edge,
Maybe.
or he had some form of injury. What I find interesting is, and I didn't pick Winnipeg because Mike O'Shea was coy on Wednesday to whether or not Andrew Harris was playing. Now we know why he was coy, because he got nailed with a positive test.
I mean,
so again, I look at that and go, this isn't Major League Baseball. It's not the NFL. They don't have rafts of doctors looking after him. But guess what, pal? You've got a list. So be diligent. And there's team docs. We had great team docs. When you play, Doc Alexander, Doc Brown, if you ever had a question, you could go right to that guy, easily accessible. So again, if you bought something over a counter and didn't check it out, blame's on you. Go to your team doctor and go, is this good? Can I take this? So I don't buy the whole, you know, innocent. You took something and you didn't follow a procedure to actually get some advice. So pay the price.
Everybody's going to say now there was a sprinkle of Jesus once again over the Riders, because now they're going into Labor Day without
sprinkle of something.
without Matt Nichols, without Andrew Harris, and now there's going to be an asterisk. Now, if the Riders win that game, it's going to be, well, we were without Nichols, we were without Harris.
That's the way it goes, though, right? Raz?
Well,
hey,
yeah,
it
but the
seems
thing
like
is,
a lot of
Winnipeg is
things are
still
working
good,
our
too.
way this year.
They are.
They're kind of falling in place very nicely. And
They
just,
are.
it's
They've had
funny,
a lot of
eh?
breaks this year. When you consider they had to play with Hamilton without Mazzoli. They had the weather-shortened break. They had one
Montreal.
game against Montreal without Vernon Adams. You know.
But at the end of the day, Raz, and you tell us, are breaks really good? Don't you want to play the best? Don't you want to be?
You do.
Yeah.
You do, but you know what? The team doesn't control what's happening
No, of
to the
course
other
not.
team, right?
No, of course not. And
Whatsoever.
we're lucky and it's
Win the
great.
games you're supposed to win. And the
Exactly.
Riders have done that.
Yeah.
But at some point, I mean, the only real challenge we've had has been the Calgary game, and we didn't play very well in that game, right? So at some point, we're going to have a tough game, and I mean, yeah, I'll take it, but
For sure.
Yeah.
Hey.
All I hope
I agree.
all I hope for Andrew Harris, though, is it's not the same scandal they're seeing in Major League Baseball where
Yeah.
pro athletes are stopping at gas stations and buying enhancement products after the game to help them out.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, this
Over and
is.
out on that
I mean,
one.
I think this. You know, the fact he was tested 10 days ago, tested positive for whatever it is, within the next 10 days,
Still there.
it probably won't be there.
Well, it was. You got double. Or they. Oh yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? The next
Yeah.
10 days.
Yeah,
Like,
next 10
it's that
days. Yeah,
probably.
Saturday, yeah.
I'm just saying, it's probably that type of supplement over the counter from some Popeyes or something.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you
Yeah.
mean. Yeah.
not
Hey.
the chicken.
Right. Exactly. Not the chicken.
Well, here we go now. The Riders are on a winning streak going into the Labor Day Classic. They are still on a 5-game winning streak. They're now 6-3 at the midway point. Gentlemen, how good are they?
Well, I think they said it in their own words after the game. Fajardo and the head coach both said this wasn't our best game, that we could be better in other aspects.
We're talking about the game against Ottawa.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they're confident, they're growing together as a team, but they also know that, hey, we got to be way better than we were. We made a bunch of mistakes. I love that message. So hey, let them keep growing, let them keep building. They're not winning the Grey Cup this Labor Day weekend. They're building towards being a better team, and that's the message I love to hear from them, that no, they're not cocky, we're not crushing everybody, we got to be better.
No,
I think for one thing, they got to play this Labor Day game. Whether Harris is in there or not, whether Nichols is in there or not, you can't take 16
Absolutely.
penalties
You can't take it lightly.
against a team like Winnipeg and expect to win. You can get away with it against Ottawa, but that they let the Red Blacks let them stay in that game.
Yeah, they, you know what? Just like Stacey said, I see the confidence, eh? And you know, you can feel. I'm so happy for actually the team itself, because you see the guys bonding, eh? You can sort of see that growth, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, just see that growth with Fajardo too. Like, you know what, man?
You know, they have the chain.
They
and
got the
they're having
confidence.
fun.
The old line's playing. You know what I mean? Like, they're playing good, man. Like, they're feeling good. You know.
I was watching highlights. I taped the game and I went home after the game and watched it. And the old lineman, oh gosh, what's his name? Starts with an S. He's Canadian. And they showed clips of him 3 times during the game, during an injury break or whatever. He's on one knee or he's standing, and he's got a smile from ear to ear. He is absolutely loving what he's doing, and he's making an impact.
Talking about
That just
Shepley?
Yeah, Shepley.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know,
Like, but that's the exciting part about a young team like this growing, right? They're not overconfident. They are
No.
admitting mistakes. How many times has Craig Dickinson said, I screwed up?
Yeah.
How many coaches did you play under that actually went in front of a mic and said, yeah, I actually screwed up?
not a lot.
No.
Not a lot. I mean, you know. but-
Humble, know where they are.
No, it's good. I think they're just sitting in such a good position, man. It's
Yeah, they are.
it's exciting, eh?
Yeah,
You know, and Fajardo, hey, he's grown. This is his first year.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and that's like none of this. I think the best thing is there were no expectations for this team, right? They have nothing to live up to.
Yep.
They're playing. I don't think anyone would have expected we'd be at 6-3 at the midpoint anyway. So there's no expectations. They can go out there and have fun, and
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah,
Put it
they
this
are.
way: when they step on the field,
It's all business.
they believe they can win.
Yeah.
They believe they can win.
Yeah.
The other team in the league like
For
that
sure.
is Montreal.
Sure.
There were no expectations on
Yeah,
Montreal.
but
They were
Montreal
supposed to
doesn't
be
have a
garbage.
big play chain.
You know, when you're playing a team
Yes.
and you play a team that believes they can win,
Yep.
hey,
How about that big play chain? You like that idea that they're using? Manny Arsenault came up with the idea. Well, it's something that's been used in colleges and stuff. If you make a big play, you get this chain. It says says boycott average, and you used to use that stuff in '89. You had the tape around the finger where your Grey Cup ring was going to go, that kind of thing. Is
a little
that a
fun.
little motivation?
why not? You know what?
And those always seem to work. You know, the 2004, the Calgary Flames had the hardest working hard hat, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, every time teams do that, it's when you find that gimmick that if the team buys, it's all about the team.
That's
buying
right.
into it, I think, right? It's if they think it's goofy and don't care, it's not going to work.
That's
But when
right.
they go, yeah, I want that.
Well, and times
I want to
change.
wear it, man.
Yeah.
There you go.
And they look like they were playing
For
to get
sure.
that chain.
Sure,
right?
they
For
were.
sure.
Yeah. Whatever. Hey, any kind of extra motivation you can get, you should be motivated enough.
Yeah.
You're a professional football player to go out there and win the game. But any kind of little extra
I'm
certainly
sure
doesn't hurt.
Raz would have had that hanging around his head after knocking a few guys into another time zone.
Would have been nice.
Hey,
Mark,
couple
Mark,
times.
Mark's work warehouse, hardest hitter.
That's
Remember that?
right.
There you go.
That's right.
All right.
It's all good.
Yeah, all good. And welcome again to Woodsy's Picks. Once again with members of Lancaster Council here at the Lancaster Taphouse. Our council director is Stacey Cattell. He is here from the Regina Pats. Our Minister of Ways and Means, Tim Rogers from the Lancaster, is here as well. And our celebrity counselor today, former Saskatchewan Rough Rider, Grey Cup champion, Plaza of Honor member, Dan Rasovich. And it's always good
He's
to have
figuring out his
see-
picks right now.
Yeah, okay. It's not as you've probably noticed by our records, it's not really that complicated.
No.
There's no
You
in-depth.
just kind of flip a coin
Yeah.
and
I
see
saw
what
it.
happens.
Just
Yeah.
remember, Raz, if you go over and you're not here next week, we're still going to trash
Yeah,
talk.
and we're still going to trash you. Yeah.
So no pressure.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Some good winning percentages here. Not bad.
Yeah, well,
Not
some of
bad.
us have
Pretty
been
good.
here for every one.
Yeah.
Me. Tim's been here for a few. Stacy's been here for every
Mike
episode.
Lee comes in when it's an easy week. So
when it's an easy week, sing with the mayor, Darren Wilcox. So they're not here this week. They'll be back next week. But so let's get started. We're, by the way, going to talk about another event coming up that Dan is involved in, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But let's go over the picks first of all for this week, and they're all Labor Day Classic matchups. There's just the 3 games going on this weekend. A couple of teams have byes. So on Sunday, it is the Labor Day Classic. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and a completely different narrative on this game now following the suspension of star running back Andrew Harris of the Blue Bombers. So what do we expect now with Andrew out and Matt Nichols out? Tim.
You know, you can't take them lightly, like you said before, but I think all you got to do is make them throw the ball, right? You got to contain them. You got to keep Strevler from throwing.
You got to make them one-dimensional, right?
And you got to make them one-dimensional, and they are. Their defense is amazing, but it's we're back at Labor Day at Regina, and we don't lose that game often. And I think we got a little boost, a little stroke of luck this week, and yeah, I'm taking the Riders.
Dan.
I think we should have another side bet on there too, maybe time count violations. Like how many time count violations do the fans help create against Winnipeg too?
There's usually a couple of games.
How about for our own team?
We had a few last week.
I mean,
come on, who are you going with?
Of course, Riders, man. Like, hey, I think
it's Labor Day.
It could be it's Labor Day, and this could be one of those ones for sure. That could be like maybe 50-10.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. They got a good defense. You're right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're going to have to
got a
figure
good
out something to do with
You're
Willie
right. They have a
Jefferson.
good defense, but I think we'll prevail. You know what? We're going to prevail.
You know, we've been 1-8 going into this game and beat them 15-10.
Exactly.
So anything can happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
100%.
Stacey.
Well, to your point, there could be an asterisk beside the next 2 games.
You're an asterisk.
This comes down to, ouch. It still comes down to what we talked about, win the games you're supposed to win.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, you have 2 key players out for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And sure, it's breaks, but win the games you're supposed to win. So it sets up that you're playing against Stradivarius and or Straveller or whatever his name is. I'm not going to use the quote I used playing him like you know what, but beat him.
Hey,
beat him.
You know,
Beat him.
he reminds me of Tebow Streveler.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It reminds me of Tebow. Yeah. Like, hey, he just kind of finds a way to win. And you know what? That's
At the end of the day,
just
they
throwing
got
that
a
out
full
there.
game, you got a full
Like-
game of tape on him. He's run first, pass third, because he'll hand it off, and Andrew Harris is there. So win the game you're going to win, or you're supposed to win. So I'm going with the Riders because they've done that. They beat the teams they're supposed to beat in whatever situation. So I'm going Riders.
I don't think this is going to be a cakewalk by any means. I don't care whether Matt Nichols is not playing, whether Andrew Harris is not playing. Next man up, your professionals. I think they have the depth that they're going to be able to overcome some of that. I also think that defense that the Bombers have is ferocious, especially with William Jefferson. They have to find an answer for Willie because he was a one-man wrecking crew last week. That all said, I think now the Riders have had a chance to look and see what they did against Edmonton. They'll have a chance to defend that run option play, although maybe they're not going to be able to run it as much now that Andrew Harris is not in there. But you still have to, I think, scheme around a guy like Jefferson. So I think it's going to be a very difficult challenge for them. That said, I still think they're going to pull it out. It's just Labor Day. Strange things do happen, but this is going to be, I think, a lot closer game than many expect.
Yep.
But I still think the Riders are going to win.
Yep,
I think so too.
So there we go. All right. Now, 2 games on the actual Labor Day, Monday. Let's start in the East. The Toronto Argonauts in Hamilton to face the Tiger Cats. It's a sellout crowd in Hamilton this week. The Tiger Cats are so much better. Dan, who do you like?
I'm going to Tie Cats. I'm going to go Tie Cats home.
You're wearing the colors, so.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go with the Tie Cats home. You know what? I mean, actually, Jason Riley. You remember Jason Riley?
Yeah.
Yep.
he did an event for Believe in the Gold actually in Ottawa recently and raised $16,000. So go Ticats.
All right.
Right on.
I don't know. I was watching the Argos last week, and I thought they hung in there against the Alouettes. They actually had the lead. I thought they played pretty well, but just something happens to them at the end. There they were, a chance to win that football game, and a drop pass in the end zone. Just stuff like that is happening to them.
Yep. I was impressed how they battled, but the Ticat defense is still a better defense than Montreal's defense. And I think Montreal let Toronto back into that game a little bit, made some maybe coaching errors or play decisions at the end of the day. The Ticat defense continues to stand up for that team and allow Evans to continue to improve. We talked about that last week. So the Ticats are going to prevail again.
Yeah. Ticats, the Tiger Cats escaped by the skin of their teeth against the BC Lions, and three of us, you were the only one to pick the Ticats last week, but it was close. I mean, a little closer than I think many expected.
But it came
13 to it came down to defense. It was a 13-10 game. I think a lot of people expected it would be that tight because Hamilton made that trip. Now they are back at home against the Argos. I'm going to go with the Ticats in this one.
I've been waiting.
Uh-oh.
I've been waiting for my opportunity.
There we go.
Zoom in.
Zoom in.
Zoom in.
Oh, God. Oh, we have zoom in moments here.
All right, he's got stats loaded. You've got analytics here.
I have nothing
Okay.
but an intuition. It's weird stuff happens on Labor Day, and I'm taking the Argonauts.
Good
That's
on
all you got?
And
That's
zoom
all you
out.
got. And zoom out. Good on you. Moving right along.
All right.
He'll be right in the gutter with Willie again.
Yeah, probably.
I might get suspended, but it's
No. You're not predicting anybody to get fired, are you?
That's right.
nope.
Okay, then you're safe. You're good. And the other game on Monday, the traditional battle in Calgary between the Stampeders and the Eskimos. This is a tough one, and I'm going to go on tradition again. I didn't like the way the Eskimos looked last week against the Bombers. I'm sure that they'll be ready to play this time around. But the Stampeders at home, I think the Eskimos are slightly better. They will be mad after what happened against the Bombers, but it's Calgary at home. I'm going to take the Stampeders in this one.
Yeah, I'm taking the Stamps too, because they're at home, and because personally, I want to see a four-way race all the way to the end of the season. I think that's fun. So I want to see the Stamps get a win and jump back into this race and have some fun all year.
What do you think, Russ?
I'm gonna go Stamps. You know, I think Arbuckle. Hey, what they lose that game? What was he? 34 or 39, and they lose it. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's craziness, eh? You know, but again, I don't know. And a lot of these teams, you know what? A lot of good defenses.
Yeah.
There's good defenses throughout the league. There really is.
Right.
You know, and
Well,
But
I
that-
agree with you in the West. Of the teams in the West. Outside of BC.
yeah. But
Everybody's
even
got
last
a-
game, BC played well defensively. You know what I mean? But you know what? You need some offense. You need
Yep.
even when you're a good defense. If you're on the field and you know you're not, you need something to kind of because you know what? Winning is contagious. Even within a team in terms of you heal quicker. You're not as sore the next day. You know what? There's a whole mental and physical thing that your body and even the team heals quicker, feels better. You know, just that confidence, and you know what? That's real.
Yep.
It's real. So,
All right, somebody's got to take the Eskimos.
No, I'm not.
I'm
Because
not.
the Stamps are coming off
Sorry.
a bye week.
I can't believe nobody is taking the
it's
Eskimos.
gonna be 3-0.
And you know what? I was thinking if Edmonton beats Winnipeg, I'm taking Edmonton in this game because they're rolling. They got momentum. Jason Moss got out-coached in the red zone again in this game. That doesn't give me any confidence in going up against a great coach in Calgary. Dickinson knows what he's doing, and he knows what he's working with. He, like Craig Dick, like his brother, he is milking what he has as a team to create wins. We refer to him as Nick Beltbuckle here.
Okay.
Not Arbuckle,
Arbuckle,
Beltbuckle,
Beltbuckle,
cowboy
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
but
yeah,
but no, this kid continues to improve, and Bo Levi is sitting in the wings.
He's amazing.
He
Like
is sitting
seriously.
in the wings, but
like it's great to see all these young quarterbacks coming
Absolutely.
up, man. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's fabulous. So actually, some of these injuries are a blessing for the CFL.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you know what? We got the backups, you got your starters sitting, and now you get these backups developing, and when these guys get healthy, hey, we're going to have some
Makes a fan
quarterbacks.
feel so much better about the future, because when all these
Yeah.
quarterbacks went down, you went, oh no, now who's going to be
Yeah.
in? Because if you don't have any stars at the quarterback position,
No.
it's tough to keep
It's
the fans'
nice.
interest. You want to see some talent out there. We're seeing that in the backups that are going
And
in.
that's
So it's
exciting.
really good.
That's
That's
what
exciting.
the Indianapolis Colts are going through right now.
Yeah, but that's exciting if we ever get to the point where we have a team in Halifax.
That's right.
Or in the Atlantic Coast.
100%.
We have to develop, and this has been, Dan, it was back in your day. How many times are we trying to milk that old quarterback? Develop young quarterbacks, and we're at that point where now the league is forced to do it,
I know.
and the games are exciting.
Yep.
So I'm.
It's funny how it goes, eh?
Bone stands.
It's funny how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
All right.
is.
We want to get to this special event that Dan is involved in. He's been involved with this for about 3 years now. It's called Believe in the
Believe-
Gold.
yep.
It's the Run for Childhood Cancer coming up. The 2019 version will be at Wascana Park at the Legislative Grounds. This year will be going September the 21st. Dan, how did you become involved in this? Why is this such an important project for you?
I mean, first of all, gold is the color of children's cancer, and I guess in terms of research, children's cancer only gets 3 to 4% of all research money. But that wasn't why I got involved. I guess what happened was I was going to actually do a thing for kids sport up in Meadow Lake, and then I get this phone call from an ex-teammate of mine when I played with the Argos. His name was Mike Soroshka, played at the UFC. We were teammates and roommates actually in '85 and '86. But he phoned me here 3 years ago, out of the blue. He goes, hey, you know what gold means? I'm like, I know what it is. I don't know what it means. Children's cancer. Then he goes, do you know how much money goes to research for children's cancer? I said, no idea. He goes, 3 to 4%. I said, really? And I said, what do you want? He goes, I need you. I need you to chair this event for children's cancer in Saskatchewan, because Crescent Point Energy, which, they're a big sponsor of Believe in the Gold, and they requested it be done in Saskatchewan because basically funds that are raised stay in Saskatchewan to help families, financially. So in the last 2 years, we helped 37 families. So getting involved, so little did my friend Mike know that my oldest son was diagnosed with leukemia. And at that time, he was going through treatment. So I kind of took that, hey, a little sprinkle of Jesus, or hey, coming on me, you know what, man? Like, hey, this happened for a reason. I'm like, yeah, done. And then I said, what do I do?
Yeah.
I said, what do I do, man? And he just said, hey, I got a template, just follow it. I said, I can do that and I can make it better.
And I think you have it. Every year seems to have become bigger and better, and more people have become involved. This year, what's this day all about? What are people going to be involved in?
What you're going to get, and if you come, Rider alumni will be there. All the Rider alumni, there'll be a ton of us, because we're the community sponsors of it. I chair the event. What it is like a fun day. It's a kids' day. It's a day for families to get together. I go from Gainer the Gopher to the Rider Pep Band to the alumni to Disney princesses and superheroes, and we got bouncies and RMF football throwing, and we have tattoos. We serve breakfast with registration, lunch with registration. You get Timmy's coffee. You get registration bags full of goodies, courtesy of Lancasters. We have prizes for costumes, kids dressed in gold. We have candy stations on the walk. We have medals when they cross the finish line. We have the Astronomical Society there to look at the sun, solar flares. Got St. John's therapy dogs there. Tattoos, footballs, you name it. It's just a great day. Bring your blanket, sit on the grass, have fun, go for a walk around Wascana, run if you want to. And again, proceeds go to families. And the cool thing is the researcher. You can Google this. Dr. Mahoney, he's using viruses immunotherapy, and he actually has his research going to trial right now, which is amazing. So you know what, I just encourage people who listen, hey, if you can't come, maybe you want to do a donation. And just, you know, go to www.runforchildhoodcancer.ca, or you can go to the Believe in the Gold website, and you'll find where you can do either. So, anyways, it's you
know what, it's a phenomenal event, and as part of the Brethren, the Rider alumni, which I'm fortunate to be involved in my years.
What position did you play again?
Yeah, I did. I took pay cuts like everybody.
Left guard. That's right, baby. He was left guard tackle. He sat at the left.
I think I took one.
3 pay cuts.
I'm still waiting for the ball boys to get later, but whatever.
He was left guard tackle. He sat at the left end of the bench, guarding the water bucket, and tackled anybody that tried to come near.
That was my job.
That was Tim's job. My job was to bring money in, and we all took pay cuts.
Yeah.
You know what? No, seriously. As a Rider Alumni Association, we do a lot of great things in the community, but Raz has been heart and soul of this. And yeah, it is close to his heart.
Yeah, it's
and he's done a great job championing this, getting our guys involved, and it's become a tremendous event. I credit you for your passion and what you bring to the table, and everybody in the community that's supporting this. It's a big event, so come out and have some fun.
Rider alumni sponsors: Crescent Point Energy, Identity Link, and local radio, CJME, Jack 94.5 and Z99 also involved in this, and I can't think of a better project. Again, if you want to enter for the run or get involved somehow, just go to www.runforchildhoodcancer.ca.
And you don't have to run.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't, hey, you can just sit and have breakfast and lunch and walk around.
Now that's my kind of event.
Woodsy's in.
And walk around.
That's what you and I do every Sunday anyway.
Exactly,
You know
exactly.
what? Walk around with your children, have a great day. It's on the West Guard in front of the Ledge building, and
That's awesome.
hope we see a
Thanks
lot
for
of
all
people.
your work, Dan. You do a tremendous
Thanks,
job.
guys.
Raz, thank you very much for coming in and being our celebrity this week, and we'll see how your picks all pan out.
Might get an
And,
invite next week.
Yeah.
It's over already?
Yeah, that's all we got. We got to go and have another beer. All the best to you in
Thanks,
the
guys.
Believe in the Gold
Thanks.
Day. So again,
Appreciate it.
September the 21st. A reminder that, of course, it's the Labor Day Classic this week. The following week is the rematch, the Banjo Bowl in Winnipeg. And our pre- and post-game shows on CJME will be here at the Lancaster Taphouse. If you want to enter and maybe get a VIP table, get some grub, get some drinks, get in on all the prizes, get in on all the fun, you can simply go to Green Zone, CJME.com, enter contest, follow the links. You can enter to win a prize, and of course you can just book a table by going to www.thelancaster.ca. Again, our thanks to Coors Light, the official beer of the Green Zone. That will do it for this week's edition of Woodsy's Picks. We'll talk to you again next week.
Oh, I hit a shot. Nice shot.